थैंक यू सो मच। जैसा उन्होंने कहा मैं भी दिल्ली से हूँ, यहाँ पे आके मुझे लगा हवा ऐसी भी होती है। बहुत गलत बात है। ओके, लेट मी स्टार्ट। वाइल्ड एंड विलफुल, किसी को पता है विलफुल का मतलब क्या होता है? एनीबडी नो द मीनिंग ऑफ द वर्ड विलफुल? एनीबडी? Okay, if you don't know, that's great because I will tell you. So willful means something जो हमारे कंट्रोल के बाहर हो, जो थोड़ा stubborn हो, जो थोड़ा मुश्किल। हम जानवरों को अक्सर ऐसे देखते हैं कि वो विलफुल हैं, कि हमारी बात नहीं सुनते हैं, हमारा ऑर्डर नहीं फॉलो करते हैं, हमारे बॉर्डर्स नहीं फॉलो करते हैं। सो दिस इज़ अ बुक अबाउट wild animals that live with us, next to us, and why it's not so bad that they're wild. I'm going to explain to you why it's good that we have wild animals with us, and how looking at wild animals can connect us more to nature. Let's start. Okay, I'm going to start with my favorite tree, which is blooming right now. Does anybody know इस पेड़ का नाम क्या है? Look at the big red flowers. I know Suhail Kader knows, but he can't answer. Anybody else? Do you know the name of this tree? Yeah, Shimul. Someone from Assam or Bengal has said that. Assam, right? Can you tell us a little bit about Shimul? Where does it grow? Cotton होता है, right. Also called the red silk cotton flower. This is the semal or shimul, as it's called in Bangla, and it's flowering right now. And I'm showing you these three images to show you कि एक ही पेड़ पे क्या क्या आता है. First image is monkey, rhesus macaque. Second image is red-naped ibis, जो सेमल के flowers से nectar लेता है. The third is the peacock. Peacock is just sitting on the semal, looking like looking like the Shah Rukh Khan of the bird world, because this is the male peacock, right? So at this time of the year, which is springtime, इस समय March में और February end में semal will flower, and every wild animal comes on the semal to feed. So bats, mammals, birds. A way to get started to look at the world around us is to find a big Indian tree. आप एक बड़े इंडियन ट्री के पास जाए, banyan हो, पीपल हो, सेमल हो, और उसको आप ऑब्जर्व करें, तो ही हमारा बहुत आसानी से our journey with nature can begin. Okay. This is the tree. It's a very big tree. This is a photograph from Humayun's tomb in Delhi. तो पीछे जो monument है वो बहुत पुराना है, पेड़ भी काफ़ी पुराना है. And I just want to introduce the idea कि हम heritage के बारे में जब सोचते हैं, we think about our national heritage. We think about Taj Mahal. We think about the tombs. We think about Jantar Mantar. But we can also begin thinking about our natural heritage as something that's important and defines our life in India. चाहे हम टाइगर की बात करें, चाहे हम सेमल की बात करें, banyan tree की बात करें, पक्षी जो हैं उनकी बात करें, ये हमारे कल्चर से बहुत डीपली जुड़े हुए हैं एंड ये हमारे लाइफ को शेप करते हैं. शायद हम हमेशा समझ नहीं पाते, मे बी वी आर नॉट ऑलवेज एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड हाउ एनिमल्स एंड प्लांट्स एंड नेचर शेप आवर लाइव्स, बट द फूड दैट वी ईट, the things that we see, the sounds that we hear have nature in them. So at this time of the year in Delhi, hornbills, grey hornbills are calling because they're soon going to be nesting. And that's the sound that you hear in Delhi. Apart from the horns and the trucks and all, you hear the hornbills. You see the semal tree and it's full of birds fighting with each other for the nectar. So this color that you see, this beautiful red, mostly semal is red, is part of our life. And this is heritage that maybe we should think of protecting. Okay, I'm going to say 2 or 3 things जिसको आप consider कीजिए. You can argue with me after my talk is done, but for now, let's consider the following. First of all, we share places, we share our world, our country, our states with wildlife, even if we don't know it. Even in this campus, there'll be a lot of wildlife. Has anybody seen any wild birds here since the last 2 days? कोई चिड़िया जो आपने देखी हो? नाम पता है चिड़िया का? You went for a bird walk today, right? कौन सी चिड़िया थी? कौन सा sunbird? Purple rumped. Okay. Anything else? Any other birds? Tell me. Eagle. Which one? Okay, that's great. Black kite. I wonder if it was. Could there be an eagle here at this point? No. Okay. Anything else? Did you see? Red-vented bulbul, considered one of the most common birds of India. मेरी पहली पक्षी red-vented bulbul थी. It was my first bird that I saw. Okay, so we share space with wildlife in our lives, in the places we live in, even in our houses. So the old houses in Calcutta have civets in them. एक छोटा सा mammal होता है जो नेवले की तरह लगता है. वो कैलकटा के पुराने घरों में रहता है. दिल्ली में नेवला, the mongoose that fights with the snakes. It's there in the gardens. I showed you red-naped ibis. Before this, the bird in the middle, it's actually doing quite well in India. इसका population increase हुआ है और ये लोधी gardens में दिखता है. जहाँ पे थोड़ा पानी हो वहाँ दिखता है. जहाँ थोड़ा कीचड़ हो वहाँ दिखता है. It eats snakes. So it's standing in Lodi gardens hunting for snakes. And people who go to Lodi gardens can see it. Okay, and I feel, this is my view, that our wildlife makes India very special. So when people come to India, they want to see the monuments, they want to see the rhino in Kaziranga, they want to see the tiger in Ranthambore. Some of them want to see the birds of India. They go to Northeast India to see the various kinds of different birds found there. If we didn't have this wildlife, I think our lives would be a little more boring. I think our lives would be a little dull if we didn't have this wildlife. But also, at the same time, rates of extinction are rising. India में पूरे world में actually. And there's a great report called State of India's Birds Report. सोहेल पीछे बैठे हैं, वो उसको कोऑर्डिनेट करते हैं, जो कि हर 4 साल देखता है कि कितने बर्ड्स हैं इंडिया में. तो सम बर्ड्स आर डूइंग वेल, जैसे पीकॉक है, इंडियन कोयल है, दे आर डूइंग वेल. But some other birds are not doing so well. So if we know the names of these birds, I think we'll care about them a bit more. I'll tell you a bit more about them. And I always feel that there's always time to save wildlife, to get connected to nature. It's never too late. Because हम environment के बारे में बात करते हैं, we think of climate change, we think of extinction, and we feel क्या करें, everything is over. There are forest fires in California, there are floods in one part of India, drought in another part of India. There's a cyclone that comes every year now. We get cyclones more than once every year. So we might think nothing to do, but there is a lot to do. Let's talk about it. I'm going to start with whether you can see what's hidden in these photos. Please see the first photo. आपको दिख रहा है एक चिड़िया है इसमें? Okay. Who's going to answer? Put your hands up. कौन सी चिड़िया है? Where is it? Ma'am, not you, the kid. Not you either, the kid. Where is it? On the left? Yeah. Which bird is it? Hummingbird. Okay. So it's a sun. Yeah, tell me. कौन सी चिड़िया है पता है आपको? अच्छा, नाम पता है? उसका बीक देखो कितना लंबा है. उसका बीक कितना लंबा क्यों है? कोई guess? Yes. Purple sunbird. So hummingbirds and sunbirds are very close to each other, but India में hummingbirds नहीं है. They're found in the US, but India has sunbirds. So that's a sunbird. Now see the second one. Yeah. Do you know the name of this butterfly? Tell me. कौन सी butterfly? अच्छा, आप बताइए आपके घर के पास. Yes, ma'am. Do you know the name of the butterfly? No. It's a gull butterfly, but that's fine if you don't know the name. You tell me the name of one butterfly near your house. आपको पता है आपके घर के पास कौन सी butterfly मिलती है? No? Common tiger. Great. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes, grass yellow. It's a yellow colored butterfly, quite common in India still. Yeah. Any others? What about the people from the northeast? You have so many butterflies. Assam? Yes. Tell me. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to show you my favorite jungle photo. Okay, you guys are going to find the animal in this photo. There is an animal, a big animal in this photo. ध्यान से देखो. Look in the center. That's the biggest clue I can give you. I'm going to give a copy of my book to anybody who gets it. Look in the center. Only the kids can answer. It's quite a big animal. No. It has whiskers. Rhinoceros? No. So nobody's getting it. Horse. Sloth? No. Yes. Where is it? Can you come and show it to us? You're going to get my book. Come. Here's the pointer. This is the pointer. Yeah, let's give him a big round of applause. I have a copy of my book for you. Thanks. What's your name? Thank you, Aditya. Thank you so much. So, yeah, it's right here. Once you see it, you feel like, how did I not see it before? So I saw this leopard in Pench, which is a tiger reserve in Madhya Pradesh, and it was looking at me. It saw me before I saw it. And one of the reasons sometimes we can't tell that we are sharing our lives with wildlife is because we can't see them so well. So one of the things that we can learn is trying to see the wild animal. They're usually very camouflaged. They're very hidden, but they're there. So this this thing was looking at me for 10 minutes, and I was just looking at the scenery, looking at the rocks and the trees, and then I was like, that is a leopard. And I managed to get this photo. And even wildlife professionals have shown them this photo and they can't find the leopard. And snow leopards in the Himalayas and leopards in the rest of India are just beautifully camouflaged because they have these spots. Okay? All right. Sometimes wildlife is hidden and sometimes it's right in front of us. So somehow peafowl, which is peacocks, are doing very well in India. Their numbers have gone up all across India. So it's a very unusual bird because it lives in the forest, but it also lives in the city. It, is at home even, in crowded cities. It's sitting on the terrace, it's sitting in the garden, it's eating snakes in the parks. It's a very interesting bird. So I'm trying to tell you, everything is not lost yet. We still have many species in India that are very interesting. And it's sitting on the samal tree. Let's meet the animals in Wild and Willful. I'm going to tell you a little story about every animal. Okay, so what is this? Do you know the full name of this monkey? Okay, what is the monkey near your house called? In your language or local name? Apart from Bandar and Vanar. What? Bones? Bones. Okay, okay. Do you have also different kinds of monkeys near your place? What kind of monkeys? Like different colors, maybe? Black-faced monkey. Where? Which state? Black-faced monkey. Langur, okay, right. And Northeast has gibbons as well. Do you know about gibbons? Have you heard the word gibbons? Okay. Anyway, let me tell you about this monkey. Okay, ये बहुत ही mischievous और शैतान monkey है दिल्ली का. इसको कहते हैं rhesus macaque, and it has learned how to open fridges. It has learned how to steal spectacles. It has learned how to turn the handle of the door and come into the house. So I write about this monkey because the monkey is like us. It has learned so many things, it's almost too much like a person. I start by writing about this monkey many years ago that slapped my mother because it came into my house, my mother's house, and it was looking for lice in her hair. And when it couldn't find any, she was 6 years old. जब उसको मम्मी के बालों में जू नहीं मिला तो उसने थप्पड़ मारा मम्मी को. So my mother went running to my grandmother and she's just crying and crying, and my grandmother said, what happened? And my mother couldn't say anything because she was feeling humiliated कि एक जानवर ने मेरे को थप्पड़ मारा है. But let me tell you a little bit why monkeys do this. Especially sometimes they do it to children. So monkeys live in a troop, in a group. And in a group, there are lots of opportunities if you're together. But there's also lots of politics, lots of fighting. So in order to keep the relationships good, they groom each other. They'll take out lies from each other. They will kiss each other's babies. They will fight, but they will also mediate and make peace. And like that, the troop moves across the city or across wherever they live. And they try to survive. And in cities where there are lots of people, they have learned how to take things from people. Now, most people will say that this is conflict. But I want to say that if you try to understand the animal a bit more and see why they're coming inside our houses, it's also because the food that monkeys eat has been displaced. So in Delhi, for example, there's a ridge forest. उस ridge forest में एक invasive tree आ गया है, जो कि इंडिया का tree नहीं है. उसका नाम है mesquite या Prosopis juliflora, जो ब्रिटिश लाए थे अपने साथ. मेक्सिको का पेड़ है वो, और वो जहाँ भी grow करता है, it doesn't have what we call natural enemies. So wherever it grows, it doesn't let any other tree grow. Monkeys are not feeding from that tree. So everything that we see, every tree that we see is not necessarily good for that ecology. What we need are native trees. So even though हमारे पास जंगल बहुत है दिल्ली में, पेड़ नहीं है बंदरों के लिए, चिड़ियों के लिए, जो वो खाते हैं, फल खाते हैं, leaves खाते हैं, it's not available for them. And the other thing is, apart from that, we are also feeding the monkeys everywhere. So हम जाते हैं मंदिर में या हम जाते हैं रोड के साइड में पुण्य करने, and we give chana, we give chapati, we give kela. You know, near the forests in Delhi and in many other North Indian towns, there's a banana seller who waits there. People come just to buy the banana to feed the monkey. Now, you tell me, should we be feeding monkeys? What do you think? Why? Why do you think we should not? Oh, okay. Okay. Why should we waste our money on feeding monkeys? Anybody else? Should we be feeding monkeys? Or any wild animal? Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. बिल्कुल सही कहा. Yeah. सही बात है. I बिल्कुल सहमत हूँ आपकी बात से. Yeah. हाँ. Correct. Yes. We should feed the monkeys. Why? Okay. Okay. We should feed animals. Okay. Yes. Anybody else? Okay, so I am going to break your heart and I'm going to say we should not be feeding wild animals. I'll tell you why. So आपने मंकी को टीच किया, आपने सिखाया मंकी को कि इधर आओगे तो आपको बनाना मिलेगा. The next person who comes without a banana, the monkey will try to snatch something from that person. And it creates an expectation in the animal. It's not just monkeys, lion-tailed macaques in Western Ghats में भी वो भी एक किस्म का बंदर है. वो रोड के साइड में भिखारी जैसे बन गए हैं. They're sitting at the side of the road waiting for people to give food. And outside the ridge forest of Delhi, ancient ridge forest, okay? Delhi has the oldest fold mountain range in the world, which is Aravallis. So those forests are older than us, older than the cities, the many cities and many capitals of Delhi. Monkeys sit like this, like मूर्ति की तरह हाथ फेर के, क्योंकि उनको बनाना मिलेगा. So this is what I'm trying to say. You're right when you say we have to compensate for all the destruction we've caused. But we should do that by restoring habitat so that we don't create more conflict. आपको बंदर पसंद है, अगले person को बंदर पसंद नहीं है. अगला बंदा डंडे के साथ लेके जाएगा उसको मारने, right? And ultimately we want to keep a little bit of separation between the animal and us. If the animal forgets how to find food, the animal has forgotten how to be a wild animal. Even for birds, बहुत लोग bird feeders अपने घर में लगाते हैं. I would say अगर आप चाहते हो that आपके garden में birds आए, you should plant the right species for them so that they can come and feed on the flowers, etc., instead of giving it food. Because it's a very difficult cycle to break. And the monkey is a very confused animal. जैसे यहाँ Wild and Willful में लिखा है, people feeding monkeys has led to a chain of unfortunate events. Monkeys are fed at temples and stoned outside them. So at temples or certain places, we are feeding them, and the moment they're outside, we are chasing them away. So it creates conflict, not just with monkeys, but also with elephants, because in some places, people are also feeding elephants. So instead of feeding them, it's a good intention. Let's take that good intention and try to plant the right species for that animal instead to reduce conflict. Just think about it. Monkeys eat fruit. So people का पेड़, mango का पेड़, अमरूद का पेड़. They also eat many varieties of leaves. Usually जो उस area का native Indian tree है, that is good, usually speaking. And we have to stop giving them chips and momos also. I know a lot of people give junk food that we should not be eating also to monkeys. Okay, now this is one of my favorite animals because everybody seems to hate the leopard. Actually, the leopard is very adaptable. It is able to live in many places. अब Bangalore में भी leopard आया था Whitefield में, school में, आपको याद होगा. दिल्ली में leopards हैं, गुवाहाटी में leopards हैं, भोपाल में leopards हैं. बड़े बड़े शहरों में leopards हैं, बॉम्बे में बहुत सारे leopards हैं. क्योंकि leopard, unlike tigers that usually stay in forests, leopards are able to stay in many places. They can stay in agricultural fields, they can stay near cities, they eat stray dogs. So wherever there are stray dogs, there might be leopards. And I feel that the way we have treated leopards has been very bad in India because almost every month leopards are shot or beaten or killed because we feel very afraid of them. हमें बहुत डर लगता है उनसे और हमें हमेशा लगता है यहाँ पे लेपर्ड नहीं होना चाहिए जहाँ पर हम हैं. बट एट द सेम टाइम आवर फुटप्रिंट इज़ वेरी इंटेंस. हमने हर जगह को चेंज कर दिया है. वी हैव चेंज्ड ऑल द प्लेसेस वेयर वी आर लिविंग इन, वेयर द एनिमल्स ऑल्सो यूज्ड टू लिव इन. सो अगेन द सोल्यूशन to reduce conflict is to try to make corridors that can connect places, natural corridors, like preserving a corridor between two forest patches would be a good idea. Preserving, making biodiversity parks in various parts of India would be a good idea, where animals can have safe places to live in, instead of shooting every animal that we see. And टाइगर्स, आई थिंक वी लव टाइगर्स. टाइगर के साथ कुछ होता है तो प्रोटेस्ट मार्चेस होते हैं, कैंडल लाइट विजिल्स होते हैं, हम टाइगर को नाम देते हैं. जैसे अवनी टाइग्रेस थी, या रणथंभौर के सारे टाइगर्स का नाम है. बट वी डोंट हैव दैट similar feeling for leopards. I think leopards are the face of conflict today. And it's complicated. There's no one solution. But we can start by trying to understand the animal. We can start by trying to understand that wherever there's garbage, wherever there are stray dogs, there will be leopards. So perhaps the way to reduce leopards where we are is to reduce the garbage and neuter the stray dogs. Okay. I'm going to move towards animals that move across distances, that migrate also. Does anybody know the meaning of migration in animals? What is migration? Yeah, tell me. Yeah, do you know why they move? Like warm weather. In Delhi, we wait for your birds to come to us because they come to us and they go to South India. Thank you. Anybody else? Migration? Does anybody know that butterflies migrate? Anybody knows about this? Okay. कौन सा जानवर पता है आपको जो migrate करता है? Which are the migratory animals you know about? Baya Pakshi. Baya Pakshi is not migratory, I don't think. Is it? No. Good answer though. I like the spirit. Yes. Flamingo. Yes. Yes. Sparrows. Swallows. No. Which one? Barn swallow. Okay. Any else? Any other animals? So आपने सारे birds का नाम लिया ना? सिर्फ birds नहीं है जो migrate करते हैं. Many kinds of animals migrate. Birds का migration बहुत long हो सकता है. It can be quite long. It covers different countries. But even small insects like butterflies migrate over states. I'm not this butterfly. This is just one butterfly. But in the United States, the monarch butterfly migrates from Canada to Mexico. And because the butterfly is a short-lived animal, it can't complete the migration in one go. 4 generation लगते हैं उसको कनाडा से मेक्सिको जाने के लिए. और जिस पेड़ पे वो बैठता है मेक्सिको में, those are protected trees. So they all come and they sit on the tree, and the tree looks like a tree of butterflies. It looks like everything is covered with butterflies. And President Obama, when he was president, had made butterfly highways. जिसमें he planted the species जिस पे butterfly अंडे देती है on the side of the highways so that they would have enough habitat to live. Again, it's important to preserve wild habitat. You can't have wild animals without wild habitat. And it's pretty amazing that such a small animal also it makes such a long journey. So they are migrating from Canada because it's too cold for them, and it's a cold-blooded animal. But even in India, butterflies migrate. They migrate from Eastern Ghats to Western Ghats. They migrate from Rajasthan towards Delhi every year. And you know what I find amazing about butterflies that I've written in the book? They have a lot of force in their wings, you know. But they also seem like apne sort of, they're in their own dream world. It's very hard to follow butterflies because it's hard to photograph. It's always moving. It seems so delicate, but actually it's a climate survivor because the migrations they make are very long. They are surviving even cyclones and storms. It's a very ancient species. Despite the fact that it looks so delicate, it has survived a lot. And I think I appreciate it for that. And I realized one thing, living in a city, that if you follow the butterflies and where they're going, you find the best places in the city. So the butterfly is taking you to the wildflower. They don't just go to gardens. In fact, the forests are full of butterflies because it's actually a wild animal. We think butterflies are only in the gardens that we grow. But actually, it's a wild animal. It likes wild plants. So the forests are full of butterflies. So if you follow the butterfly, it will take you to the wild patch in your neighborhood. It will take you to a banyan tree or a grasses, native grasses and native flowers. So if you want to find the good places in your city, follow a butterfly. Okay, this is one of my favorite birds, the one on top. Does anybody know which bird it is? किसकी तरह लग रहा है? It looks familiar maybe? Yes? Yes, please. Oriole. No, the one on top. Yeah, rosy starling. Sorry. That is an oriole though. But I was talking about the bird on top. Okay, which bird does it remind you of? Sparrows, no. Mena. Yeah. Okay, so starlings, menas are starlings. Menas to sabne dekha hai. Everyone seen a mena? Yeah. So there are many different kinds of menas in India, but this is the rosy starling related to menas. It's coming to India. Does anybody know where it comes from? It's migrating to India every year. Does anybody know कहाँ से ये migrate करके आ रहा है? Any guesses? Maybe from a cold place, can you guess? Canada. Wow. It's a little far. Okay, it's coming from Central Asia. Kazakhstan. Where? Where? What did you say? Russia. Does it come from Russia? No, only Amur falcons, right? Amur falcons, etc. I'll show you a bird that comes from Russia. Okay, so this bird is coming from Central Asia, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, वगैरह वो जो बिल्कुल those landlocked nations, steppy mountains से आता है ये. So it is coming down to India in summer. It stays in India for a long time. And when they come, they're really noisy and talkative. You can't hear anything. Just hear the rosy starlings talking amongst each other. And they fill the whole tree with their chatter and their noise. And during COVID, when none of us could go anywhere, in April, I was waiting for the rosy starlings to come, and I could not see them, but I could hear them. And during COVID, when we were all like crushed and everybody knew somebody who was dying or had died, it was the rosy starlings that really cheered me up and really cheered up some of the bird watchers in Delhi. And I just want to say, through the rosy starlings that migrate to India every year, we can understand that our continent is connected. So we might not feel much connection to Kazakhstan or to Russia, but the birds connect us. In a way, this is an international bird because it belongs to Kazakhstan and it belongs to India as well. And every year that it is able to make that journey, it seems like a big thing because there are lots of threats to birds on the migration route. And this is why I say that our connections can also be that of joy within our neighborhood. Because India is in a difficult neighborhood, right? We have countries that don't like us. But there are lots of migrations that happen between different states. Elephants move from India to Nepal and from Nepal to India. They move from India to Bangladesh and back to India. Tigers move between Sundarbans, which is Bangladesh, and India. Great Indian bustards move between India and Pakistan. So even though we're not friendly with some of these states, the animals are teaching us that we're all part of the similar bioregion or a similar kind of climate. What is affecting us is affecting our neighbors. And I think in a very beautiful way, wildlife tells us, maybe we need to overcome some of our differences. Maybe on some things we can have cooperation, such as on conservation and nature protection. Okay, this is the Great Indian Bustard, जिसका नाम मैंने अभी लिया. राजस्थान से कोई है यहाँ पे? या गुजरात से? आपको पता है इस चिड़िया के बारे में? ये आपका स्टेट बर्ड है. नाम क्या है इसका? गोदावन. जी, बताएंगे थोड़ा गोदावन के बारे में? डेजर्ट एरिया में होता है. कितनी बड़ी चिड़िया है? बहुत बड़ी. It's a big bird. It's about 18 kilos. Ma'am, you wanted to say something? Did you have your hand up? It's a big bird. Yeah, it was supposed to be our national bird. The name of the bird is Great Indian Bustard. But the peacock is better looking. Peafowl is better looking, according to some people. So peafowl became our national bird. How is this bird doing? क्या आपको पता है bird की स्थिति कैसी है अभी? Extinct क्यों हो रहा है? Any idea? Hunting. Okay. So Great Indian Bustard is a bird of the desert and dry grassland areas. एक टाइम होता था जब ये डेक्कन में होता था, नॉर्थ इंडिया में भी था, यूपी के कुछ पार्ट्स में, मध्य प्रदेश में था, कर्नाटका, आंध्र प्रदेश, गुजरात, राजस्थान. अब ज़्यादातर ये राजस्थान में ही है, गुजरात में शायद 4 चिड़िया बाकी है. दिस इज़ अ गुड एग्जाम्पल ऑफ अ स्पीशीज़ दैट हैज़ अ वेरी स्पेसिफिक रिक्वायरमेंट. उसको ड्राई ग्रासलैंड चाहिए. ये बहुत बड़ी चिड़िया है और कुछ बड़े जानवर होते हैं जो स्लोली रिप्रोड्यूस करते हैं. जनरली स्पीकिंग बड़ा जानवर उसका टाइम ज़्यादा लेता है टू हैव चिक्स, टू हैव यंग वंस, and this is the kind of bird that has not been able to adapt to modern living. A lot of the grasslands have become agricultural fields. A lot of the places where it lives in the desert have become covered by solar plants and wires, and it's not able to see the wires, and it collides into the wires and it dies. So now we have maybe 120 birds left in India. छोटा सा पॉपुलेशन है पाकिस्तान में, कितने हैं हमें नहीं पता, बट पूरी दुनिया में जो हमें पता है 150 होंगे. तो इस बर्ड का फ्यूचर इंडिया के हाथों में है, because it's not a bird that is found all over the world. There are many birds like this that are found only in certain places. This is one of them. And you know, as the book says, the Great Indian Bustard can navigate the heat of the desert, it can navigate the lack of water, the sand dunes, and the extremes of the desert. But it can't navigate those wires. It did not evolve to see those wires. Similarly, जब हम टाइगर के बारे में सोचते हैं, टाइगर बहुत ही, it looks like a fierce, capable animal, but it's not able to cross roads. It's not able to cross railway tracks because it never evolved for that. It never evolved to run away if something is coming. So tigers die on highways. They die getting crushed under trains. So do elephants. Even though elephants can walk very long distances, they can climb a little bit, they can run, they also die under trains all the time. Because, you know, these are not threats that these animals sort of learned to avoid. So now that these threats are there, these animals are dying. And as far as the Great Indian Bustard is concerned, in the desert in Rajasthan and Gujarat, हर जगह पे solar plant बन रहा है. Solar is really good. But we need to think, where do we want to put the solar plant? Should it be in the Great Indian Bustard habitat, or do we need to move it elsewhere, where an animal will not go extinct because of solar power? Okay, how much time do I have? Not much. Okay, sorry. I'm just going to go straight to two animals, which is elephant and tiger. So a lot of people who study elephants will tell you that elephants remember the paths that they walk on. I told you elephants are moving between Nepal and India. नेपाल और इंडिया के बीच में एक रिवर है, उसका नाम है मेची. Mechi River is the natural boundary between India and Nepal. So elephants are crossing over and going to Nepal and coming back also. They do the same between India and Bhutan. India and Bhutan के बीच में बहुत सारा forest है. So basically, for the animal, it's a willful animal. It doesn't know political boundaries. It doesn't know that this is India, that is Nepal, etc. And people, elephant biologists, I'm not an elephant biologist, but I'm just telling you what biologists have found. They found that elephants also remember the pathways that they took. So कोई पत्थर जो हमें बिल्कुल कुछ साइड का पत्थर लग रहा है, शायद हाथी को याद है. कोई पेड़ जो हमें सिर्फ एक पेड़ लग रहा है, शायद हाथी को याद है. एंड देयर स्टडीज दैट आल्सो शो अगर हर्ड के साथ कुछ बुरा हुआ है एक जगह में तो उनका बिहेवियर चेंज हो जाता है वहाँ पर आके. दे रिमेंबर प्लेसेस ऑफ कॉन्फ्लिक्ट एज वेल. They remember something bad happened to them at a particular place and they become much more alert, a little aggressive. So even in India today, there is a lot of conservation of elephants, but also conflict between people and elephants. And one of the ways that we can try to reduce this, one of the ways that we are trying at WWF is we are trying to give higher amount of money to farmers who have crops getting eaten by elephants. अब देखिए आपने एक बनाना अगर लगाया है, हाथी को तो नहीं पता that banana is for me. जैसे I started by saying should we give bananas to rhesus macaque monkey? You said, some said yes, some said no. But the elephant has not read the Indian Penal Code. The elephant does not know our laws. It just sees bananas are growing and it comes. And then, you know, the poor farmer who has to tolerate all these animals should not be under more stress because of wild elephants. So what we are trying is to give more money for the same crop to the farmer so he gets compensated. And we're also trying that nobody should be killing the elephants or throwing fire at them or throwing firecrackers at them. Can we live peacefully? It is very difficult to live peacefully, but we need to find solutions for that poor person who should not feel more pressure to save the animal. So it's a complicated story. Let me just go quickly to the tigers. मैंने अपना थीसिस सरिस्का टाइगर रिजर्व में किया था जो राजस्थान में है. अब सरिस्का में एक टाइम पे कोई टाइगर्स नहीं बाकी थे because they were all poached to extinction. So this is 2004-2005. Tigers were brought in from Ranthambore Tiger Reserve to Sariska. Now Sariska has 40 tigers. India is doing well. In terms of numbers, we have a lot of tigers. I'll show you. Tiger population has increased by 30%. We have more than 3,500 tigers in India, which is more than 70% of the world tiger population. आप बताइए, tigers Africa में होते हैं क्या? Does anyone know? Yes? Okay. Anybody has any other answer? Are there tigers in Africa? No? Yes? There are no tigers in Africa. Tigers are an Asian species. So most of the tigers are in India. Second biggest population is in Russia. But India is home to most of the wild tigers on earth, which is about 70%. So we have between 3,500 to 4,000 tigers, but it is a challenging task. Okay, let me show you why. Look at this guy. This is a tiger from Tadoba. Where is Tadoba? Do anyone know? Tadoba? Where is it? Maharashtra. It's a tiger reserve in Maharashtra. So this tiger, you see this map आपको दिख रहा है? ये तडोबा से उड़ीसा गया. Anybody has any guesses why tigers move? Anybody knows? Because it's crazy? Or what? Any other reason? So tiger is a solitary animal. Solitary का मतलब पता है आपको? अकेले, हाँ. तो वो अकेले रहता है. And every tiger needs to make its own territory. They have to find their own territory और वो उस territory को defend करते हैं. They don't tolerate other tigers. दो male tiger एक दूसरे को मार देंगे, but they'll not tolerate each other in their territory. So India is a land which has 1.4 billion people, 4,000 tigers, 30,000 wild elephants, 18,000 wild leopards, 700 snow leopards, etc., etc. So every piece of land, there's some conflict between people, between animals and animals also. So let me show you. If you see this map, this is a map of Sariska. यहाँ पे tiger पे collar डाला गया था. It was a satellite collar to see where does it move. So every box is a different tiger territory. थोड़ा सा overlap कर रहा है यहाँ पे. But usually they stay away from each other. This also means every tiger needs maybe 50 square kilometers of space And when they don't get the space, they start walking. So they'll walk from Tadoba to Orissa. They'll walk from Pilibhit to Lucknow. They'll walk from Sariska to Haryana. There's a tiger in Haryana right now. Okay? They'll walk from Orissa to central India. They make their own maps of India. They have their own understanding of the landscape. And sometimes it's important to think like an animal when we are planning the landscape. How do we cross big highways? It's hard for us also. If we can think of how an animal needs to cross the highway, we would have a better country. So animals need underpasses underneath the highways to travel. Animals need, if we are making big canals, canals can also cut off animals. जो हाथी है, it is not able to climb very high slopes. So if we are making canals everywhere, if we are making roads everywhere, we need to think how is the animal also going to cross. We need to acknowledge कि वहाँ पे जानवर भी है, सिर्फ हम नहीं हैं. The world is not ours alone. So if we start thinking like this as you all go into your careers, try to think in your planning how we can include the wild animal. Because I believe India belongs as much to the tiger and the snow leopard as it does to us. Let me end with a good, happy story. So this is a guy that you meet in Wild and Willful. His name is Babaji. He lives in Chhattisgarh. You know who his children are? Yeah. And he's one of the happiest men I've ever seen. He takes care of crocodiles. मतलब he doesn't touch them, but पीछे जो wetland है उसमें crocodiles हैं. This village Akaltara is a model village because everybody lives with crocodiles and there's no conflict because they understand the habits of the crocodile. So the villagers are also using this water body, but they have timings. एक crocodile का timing होता है 12 बजे के बाद. Because crocodiles are cold-blooded, they keep lying in the sun for a long time. 12 बजे के बाद जब थोड़ी धूप ज़्यादा आएगी, they become active. So people finish washing their clothes before 12 o'clock. There's no conflict here. There's another place called Charotar in Gujarat where there is very little conflict because people know and understand how crocodiles behave. And the rest of India needs to learn from these kind of places. We don't have to kill everything. We don't have to be scared of everything. But we need to learn from different parts of India how we can live with these animals. Thank you so much.
What's the right way to look at them and what should we do?
Okay, 3 things about blue rock pigeons. First is, it probably is descended from a tame pigeon. We don't know, but that's the guess. And that's why they are so comfortable with us. So it behaves almost like an invasive species because it is displacing many other birds. So that's one thing. The second is that we shouldn't be feeding birds and animals because, again, it creates an imbalance in many ways. And in nature, in ecology, one of our basic principles is if you see too much of one thing, it probably means something is wrong. I mean, this is a very simplistic thing I'm saying. It's not, it just gives you a hint to understand what's happening. So if you have too many pigeons, if we have too many deer or too many of one thing in one place, it probably means something is wrong. So we know in many of the cities of India that pigeons have displaced other birds, including house sparrows in some places, because they are both building in buildings, building nests in buildings. And the third thing is that it does cause disease. It has a link to brain fever, the fecal matter. So because it is performing like an invasive species, I would say we need to stop feeding pigeons and maybe even eradicate them in certain areas. So in many of the cities, we are continuing to feed them. And London has put a ban on feeding pigeons. And finally, I want to say that because people don't like blue rock pigeons, the other wild pigeons are getting bad name. So there are many wild pigeons of India which are gorgeous birds and everybody should see them. There's the yellow-footed green pigeon, which is a state bird of Maharashtra. It's called Hariyal in Hindi. It's a lovely bird. It only stays on trees. It never comes down. I've never seen it on the ground, but it's a very shy bird. Similarly, there are many other green pigeons of India and many rare pigeons also. So everybody thinks there's only one pigeon, but we have a diversity of pigeons in India. So maybe if we stop feeding them, maybe if we stop giving them access for some time to nesting locations, because they are nesting in our houses, so maybe we need to stop that. And maybe the population will stabilize by itself, because it's overpopulation at this point. Yeah.
Thank you.
He's the one who said the butterfly comes from Canada. I mean, maybe it could. Maybe
So hello,
in
ma'am.
the future it will, yeah. Tell me.
When you were talking about leopard, I was very interested, and I'm from Ladakh, so we have lots of snow
Snow
leopards.
leopards.
So
Yeah.
do you know a very fun fact about snow leopards?
Tell me.
No. Do you
Oh,
know?
do I know? Okay, yes. I
So
do
if
know.
you-
I do know. Okay. So there was a snow leopard cub that basically, when snow leopards are hunting animals, hunting livestock, what happens is एक बार वो आता है स्नो लेपर्ड, सारे जानवर मर जाते हैं inside the livestock pen, क्योंकि I think they get heart attacks. So there was this one snow leopard that came to kill one, was it a goat or a sheep? Do you remember, Sohail? Do you remember this incident? 60 of them died together. I think maybe it was goat. So the snow leopard came to kill one goat and 60 of them died. So the farmer was very angry because he's like, usne sabko maar diya. But actually it came to hunt one and the others kind of died of terror. And this is a particular thing that's happening in Ladakh and in Spiti. And so what we need to do is to compensate the farmer. Because again, if you have snow leopards and if you have these animals getting eaten, so farmer will not be happy. The second interesting part is snow leopards are getting attacked by dogs. It's very sad. Stray dogs are actually attacking snow leopards because the number of stray dogs has increased so much. So 5 or 6 of them will get together to attack the snow leopard, to take away its prey, and even to give injuries to the snow leopard. So we also need to stop feeding dogs in the desert. Yeah.
And can I share one fun fact?
Yeah.
So I before coming here, I went for a snow leopard expedition. So I got to know about one fun fact.
Yeah.
If a mother snow leopard leaves his child at this place, the child doesn't move
Yeah.
for a when until the mother came back.
Yeah, I mean, this is true also for other big cats. Tigers also. Okay, this is something in a book, forgetting the name of the book, Emerald Forests of Panna. It's a book by Raghu Chandawat, who's a biologist of tigers. He writes about in Panna, which is a Madhya Pradesh tiger reserve, the tigress had brought her cubs in a den. They were in a den, in a cave, and a sloth bear came there, because sloth bears also live in caves. And then the tigress came back and she moved her cubs from there, because they have to keep the cubs hidden, and the mother scolds the cub. She, kind of disciplines the cub to not follow her, because they are completely helpless when they are small. Even tigers can be helpless when they are small. Thank you for that. Have you seen the snow leopard?
Yes, many times.
Oh, wow. More than me. Yeah. Any more questions? Sure.
Great Indian Bustard in Kurnool district. There are Rollapadu, I think you might have known.
I don't think there are any left now.
No, it is there.
One?
Now, yes, 1 or 2 is there. Because of 5,000 acres, solar energy project is going to be taken. There is a large scale agitation is there. But at the same time, that local ST tribals, they were trained on the how to manage this bird, and they are doing it for the last 6-7 years. But recently they said that 1 or 2 which are also maybe died something. But still their investigations are going on. They are not able to trace it, but they are suspecting maybe they are maybe alive also. Only 3 is left over in Rollapadu.
So, like I was saying, it's almost like we are in competition with certain species. So for Great Indian Bustard, we are in competition because all the solar projects are coming up in bustard areas.
Yes.
And this is very sad because we should have solar on our rooftops and in our industrial zones rather than taking new land, which we are robbing the wild animal. I think, this is the bird that might go extinct in our lifetimes, I feel, because there's such few of them left in India. Thank you for that. Roll up.
Which tribes in Andhra are fostering? Boya tribe.
So they were trained 300 fellows.
Even in Rajasthan, the local communities have gone to court to save their sacred bunnies and their sacred groves in the bustard habitat in order to safeguard the area from solar power development. So it's the local communities that really are the biggest conservationists in many parts of India. Yeah. One last question. It's 1:25. Yeah. There are two. Can we get them together? Can we do the questions together?
Just reflect on how from your thesis, then this book that has come, the journey that you've taken, and the purpose of writing this book, because this is a wonderful book, and how do you think the children could really, learn? There's a lot of things that they could learn from by reading the book. So it's a one, just reflect on your journey.
Yeah, sure. Shall we get the next question?
Greetings, ma'am. I came to know about a very important fact today from your talk, that we should not feed birds and animals. They are going to feed on their own.
Yeah.
And we have one big problem. Certain birds and certain animals have nowadays some religious associations also.
Yeah.
And for example, pigeons. We have in our homes lots and lots of pigeons. And for example, if I ask somebody from my home to drive away those pigeons, all of my family members are going to kill me because they have religious associations. And once I tried that, but I was not a success. But in your thesis or in your research, do you take this aspect that there should be no religious associations of animals? All animals ought to be loved and cared, but they are to be kept to their own habitat. Please throw some light on it.
So this is a difficult question. Let me try to answer it. When we look at religious associations, there's a reason why there's an association. So for example, Ganga mein snan karna. Abhi Mahakumbh chal raha hai. But we need to have the water clean, right? So if we really revere the river, if we really care for the Ganga river, we should clean it. We haven't done that. So I think the true religious association is to respect that entity for what it is. So if we respect the pigeon for what it is, it's actually a free bird. And we don't need to intervene to do anything. And sometimes it also takes time. So I'm Bengali, and my grandmother had a parakeet in her cage. Every Bengali household had a parakeet. It took one generation to break that tradition. One of us said, this is a wild bird, why have you kept it in a cage? She said, oh, but I like to hear its call in the morning. So it does take time, but sometimes it's worth it to just keep saying that in a gentle way, and one day there will come a day when that thing will be followed. And I think all religious associations come from a place of affection for that thing. So let's have affection for that thing by doing what is best for that. So for a bird, it should be free. For a river, it should be clean and it should flow like a river, not dammed in 100 places. Coming to the question, thank you. Coming to the question about my thesis. So, I was a little girl when I did my thesis. I'm a little older now, hopefully. So, the thesis was about understanding communities that live along with tigers and how hard it can be for them. So I think my conservation work is very much oriented towards people. So I think you can't save animals without also helping the people. You can't leave people out of it. So I can write save tiger, save elephant, but I have to think about the farmer or the villager who lives next to the tiger and the elephant, which is why the corporate world, the NGO world, and the government needs to come together to give local solutions for the problems that people also face because of wildlife. because they do face problems because of wildlife. Their crop gets eaten, their livestock gets eaten, whatever their livelihood can get severely impacted. So we have to provide those solutions, and I think it's happening slowly. In various parts of India, it's happening slowly. And the other thing I take away from my thesis is, how do we plan our landscapes? So we cannot pretend the tiger is not there in the places where it's there. So let us allow it to move in a way. Let us give habitat and protect certain places for it. Let us build in our cities, but let us keep the tiger reserves a certain way so that the animal can live there. We cannot just pretend everything is for us. I think the biggest thing is urbanization is great, but we have to think about how we build and how we develop. We need to keep into account all the animals that we share the landscape with. So creating passage for animals on highways, on canals, on rivers is an important first step. Saying, ये project हम यहाँ नहीं बनाएंगे, यहाँ बनाएंगे, यहाँ पे कम impact होगा, that is another way to look at it. So I work a lot with State Board for Wildlife in various committees of India, and we're always trying to say this, that let's find a better alternative. Alternatives are always there. We just have to work a little harder to find it. I hope I've answered your question. Thank you.